Good morning, everyone. Jumping on for another live crafting session. Hope you all get the notice and come and join me. Julie is watching. Hello, Julie. Lovely to have you here. I feel a bit disorganised today. So, hence, I've got the coffee happening because I don't really feel awake either. No, it's really bad at 11 o'clock. So, I think I have everything that I need and my iPad is refreshing and I don't know why. Oh, no. Something's happening. Something's not right. My internet is a bit dodgy, maybe. We'll see how we go. Good morning, Kelly. Lovely to have you here. Just going to have a sip of coffee while I wait for more people to jump on. I surprised everyone yesterday with a Facebook on a live on a Monday. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have had that coffee. Oh, dear. So how is everyone today? Is it cold where you are? It was really cold this morning. I've only just started to warm up. It's really, really cold. I read a post from a storm chasing guy that I follow. And he posted something like it was -4, -2 all over like Queensland and inner New South Wales. And oh my goodness. I try not to choke, Kelly. Super busy yesterday, Julie. Good. Keeps you off the streets and out of mischief. Yes, isn't it, Kelly? It's freezing. Oh, I've still got my slippies on. At least I'm out of my pajamas. I was tempted to put my dressing gown back on, though, because I was so cold. But I thought, no, come on, suck it up, Narelle, you can do it. So where is everyone from? Who's a Queenslander? I call myself a Queenslander now. I've been here since November last year, so yeah, I'm a Queenslander. All right, I'm going to have another sip of coffee and then we'll get going and I'll try not to choke this time around. You're still in bed, Kelly. Half your luck, love. Newcastle, is it cold there? Freezing in Canberra, Anne? Yeah. 10 degrees, but feels like 1. Yes. Do I keep going out of focus? Something's happening and I don't know what it is. And I don't know why that is happening. Sylvia, I didn't realise you're in New Zealand. Hello from across the ditch. Heading your way next April. So I don't know what's the weather like in April over there, Sylvia? I bet it's really cold. Right, why do I keep going out of focus? That is really annoying me. Can you guys see that? Keeps cutting out. Oh, my internet must not be very good. Oh, no. Oh, that's making me really sad. Why is that doing that? Alright, I'm going to have to push on because if I try and change off my Wi-Fi to 4G, then I'll lose connection and have to start again. So we'll see how we go. If it gets too bad, then yell at me and tell me to disconnect and come back on. Alright? But today, I wanted to show you another technique with the wonderful embossing, Big Shot embossing mats. Okay? These are my product of the week. And if you joined me yesterday, you would have seen the cards we did using the embossing mats with the cobblestones and the seats. And I have them handy, so I'll show you again in case you missed it. So that was one of yesterday's cards, and this was the other. So I used the embossing mats here with the cobblestone die from the Sitting Pretty in the Park or Pretty Park framelits or something like that they're called. And same framelits here, but I used a different embossing mat. So here I used the thin blue one they recommend to use when you're embossing. With this one I used the thicker grey mat. It just gave more depth and more dimension, but it does do the outline of the framelit. So that was purely an embossing die, a die that's meant to be used for embossing only and doesn't have a cutting edge to it, okay? So they're the cards I did yesterday. I also did this park bench where you cut it out first and then emboss it. So that is using the dies that are designed to be used with the embossing mats, and Stampin' Up! Purposely make them to be used in these ways. But you can use these embossing mats with your normal framelits. So I thought today I would show you the Springtime Impressions Thinlits dies. And that is how I did this gorgeous front on this card. You just use the dies the same way as they say in the instructions, but this is your normal die that you can just use to cut with as well. So I wanted to show you the difference in the embossing mats with this before we actually make the card. So I'm going to put that aside for a minute. Grab out this beautiful, beautiful floral framelit. Absolutely stunning. Doesn't want to come out of the packet. I'm so sorry that I keep cutting out. I don't know what's happening today with that. Oh, I don't know. Sorry. I have done nothing different today than I normally do, but I notice I keep going out of focus and back in. I don't know whether it's too many people using the wireless and I need to change to the 4G, but I'm going to carry on. So anyway, this is the large floral framelit. That's perfect for a card front. Just stunning. But I wanted to show you the difference in the mats. And build the sandwich again, because you can never be told this too many times. The instructions that come with the Big Shot mats have a little table here, numbered table, and they are all the different elements. You've got your standard cutting pad, your impressions pad, and they're all numbered there. I photocopied that, cut that out, so I could stick it here onto the sheet that has the diagrams, just for easy reference. It just makes it so much easier. And then I can see at a glance what the numbers mean. Now, as I said yesterday, for those who weren't here, I was getting confused because I was looking at this, I don't know why, but I went to this image all the time for my instructions, okay? Oh no, am I still there? Oh, that's why I've only got 4 people watching now. Please come back. Oh no, please come back. I am still here. Oh wow, I must have really bad internet today. Oh wow. Alright, well I'm going to keep going because it still says that I'm live, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm sorry if you keep dropping out, but I'm still here. So I was getting confused because I was automatically looking at this photo every time that I was going to use my embossing mats. And I'm going, oh no, that doesn't make sense. So these are the two instructions that the two diagrams that you want to follow. I'm still seeing you, but you keep cutting out. Narelle says she's fine. Good morning, Debbie. Lovely to have you here. Good morning, Narelle. Alright, so some people are having issues and some people are okay. So I can't explain it. And I'm sorry I keep, I'm watching myself on my iPad in front of me and I keep going out of focus and back in. So I don't know what's causing that. I've never had that happen before. I do apologise. If it gets too bad, then I can restart. Good morning, Marlene. Lovely to have you here. Good morning, Margaret. And thank you for sharing, Margaret. Anyone who shares my live videos while I'm doing them live will go into the draw for a cool little prize. So please share my videos. Who else? Rails, good morning. Lovely to have you here. Alright, so I was getting confused with this one. These are the two you need to worry about. Ignore that one. Do not even think about that one. That's your normal standard sandwich when you're just cutting with your dies, okay? If you look at that while you're trying to use the embossing mats, it will confuse you. Look at these two. This is the one when you cut and emboss. This is the one when you emboss only. So we're embossing only today. So we need to follow this diagram. And all it is your standard Big Shot platform. Let me just grab my Big Shot in nice and close. So you start with your normal Big Shot platform. Okay, and then you have number 1. that's your standard cutting mat. So that's one acrylic mat. So you never use your thin die adapter. Chuck that away. Don't actually chuck it in the bin. Just put it aside. Good morning, Word. How are you? Alright, so you put your standard acrylic mat. And then the next step, number 4, is your die with the cutting edge up. Now I'll take the washi off it because I used that to hold it in place when I actually made the card. But for now I'm just going to demonstrate the difference in the two mats, because when they say to emboss only, they say to use the thin blue one, but I found you can use the thick grey one as well and get a much deeper etch to your embossing. Alright, so back to this. You then go number 5, which is your single sheet of paper. So I have my single sheet of paper, which is a little bit smaller than our die, but that doesn't matter for this exercise. Then number 10, they say the thin silicone rubber mat, blue. So that would be this one. Mine's dirty because it picks up all the stuff off your acrylic plates, and my acrylic plates are not very clean. The only word of caution when you're putting these mats on is try not to move your piece of paper and your die underneath. If you are worried about that happening, just pop a little bit of washi tape on to keep your cardstock where you want it to be. It's probably more important when you're doing like a card front, like I was yesterday with these ones. With these ones, I wanted that cobblestone in that particular area. So if it moves sideways, it'll wreck the card and I'd have to start again. So just be mindful, if you want it in an exact placement, then washi tape it down. If you wanted it as an element that you're going to cut out and place on a card front, then it doesn't matter so much. Alright, and then the next step after the blue embossing mat is number 8, which is your impressions pad white. So that is the white one. So when you get your embossing mats, you get in the packet, you get the thin blue one, the thick grey one, and the white one. Alright, so that is your sandwich to do your standard embossing. Now I'm going to bring the big shot over and run this through. I love these embossing mats. I have fallen in love with them. After I got over that initial confusion of looking at that wrong diagram and it throwing me right out, now I've got it down pat. I love them. So you take that off, this off, and there we have a lovely impression of that die. Now that is quite nice, really, really cute. It hasn't cut through anywhere, even though it is a cutting surface, because it's been cushioned by this matte and the white one. So if I hold that up there, you can see the difference with this one. Right, this one I used the grey matte, which is what I'm going to do next to demonstrate. And this is still a very nice embossed image. It's just not really puffy, but it's lovely in itself. Good morning, Christy. Yeah, you made it. Right, so now I'm going to show you the difference. Exactly the same sandwich, but I'm just replacing the blue mat with a thicker grey one. So this will give a deeper etch. So you still have your die face up. You still have your cardstock over the top. You have your grey mat this time instead of your blue one, and your white mat on top, okay? That's it. That sandwich that I've made is always exactly the same. The only difference is if you use the grey mat or the white mat. So even when you're doing the cut and emboss, your dies, even though they're cut, will not cut and emboss at the same time. What you need to do is cut the die out normally in your normal sandwich using your thin die adapter, and then put it in this sandwich to emboss it. So even though the instructions say cut and emboss, you cannot do them in the one step. So it's a 2-step process, but the effort is worth it. Alright, so this is exactly the same, embossing that die, but using the grey thicker mat. Bit more resistance as it goes through. And I assume if you do this on the white, this white cardstock, it probably would tear it because it is a thinner feel to the cardstock. It's the same GSM, it's just the process it's gone through that's made it a thinner feel. Alright, so this is now using the grey mat, a much deeper emboss. So you can see the difference straight away. That's popped out so much more, that embossing. But it does crinkle. So this is not, you're not doing anything wrong. But the cardstock will have a little bit of a crinkle in some of the raised areas. And if you turn it over on the back, it does have slight, very slight tears. Now, I don't think they go all the way through. Some of them do. If I hold that up to the light, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. You're not going to be able to see it. You're in the wrong angle. I need to put a light under it. Can I turn my lamp? Wait a minute. Let me rearrange my desk so that you can see. If I put the light under this, I don't know. Can you see the light coming through? Probably not. It's probably too bright. Can you see the light coming through them? Some of that. All right, there. You can see some of the light coming through that pattern. That's because it has slightly cut through that cardstock to get the deeper embossing. All right, so it's still fine, and that's what I did on my card front. Just be aware that may happen. So that's how it's designed to look, and that's with using the grey mat. All right, so I've probably made that as clear as mud, but I'm sure you'll work it out. All right, Julie, we'll catch you later, darling. All right, so now let's get on to making this card. A little bit different, this card. It's like a trifold card. So I'll step through making this, but today's exercise was purely to show you how to use your normal framelits as an embossing tool for your cards or any of your projects. Makes it really, really pretty. All right, so for this card, we will start with embossing the front. So this is just a 5 and 7/8 inches by a full width of a full length of your A4 cardstock, which goes to 11 and I don't know what it is actually. It's 11 and 5/8. Okay, so it's a full length of A4 like this that I have just chopped some off. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Good morning, Angie. Lovely to have you here. All right, so I'm just going to emboss this front section. So we'll bring our sandwich back. I'm going to get that die, and I want it on this side. Now, it's not going to stay face down. It's got to be face up. But I just want to place it here and then washi tape it so that it stays. So if you just joined me, if you share my video, then you'll go into the draw for a nice little prize. And I draw the prizes on a Friday because I do 3 Facebook Lives a week, sometimes 4. So I draw on a Friday, and then I'll contact you for your address if I need it. All right, so I've just taped that in place so that it's not going to move. But when I'm actually doing it, I need to have the cutting side facing up. You have it facing down to cut like normal, but I'm only going to emboss. So now I have it facing up. I am going to do actually this time I might do the smaller embossing. So I want the blue mat this time around. Now I'm not worried that that's moving on me because I have my die taped in place. It's not going anywhere. All right, so there's my sandwich. Really simple. Once you get to know it, it is really easy. Thank you for sharing, Christy. All right, just run that through the Big Shot. And this time I will get a, not as quite a deep embossing. Now, there's hardly any resistance when you go through with the blue mat instead of the grey mat. Not much resistance at all, but it does emboss. Oops, okay, so it came off. All right, so you can see that embossing on the front of the card there. Very pretty, a lot more subtle than this one. So now I finished with the Big Shot because I have cut everything else to save a bit of time. So if I pop everything over to the side, hope it doesn't fall off my desk. Alright, so the next step on this card is this inside flap here, which is a little bit thinner. Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you the score measurements. If you wanted to recreate it. Good morning, Sherry. Lovely to have you here. So this is scored at 4 and 8. And then this little bit left over is like 3 3/4 because our A4 is not 12 inches. So this one's a little bit smaller. So it just folds in. You got a little bit of a gap. But because this is a decorated panel, it's meant to look it looks like it's meant to be shorter than the rest. And then you open it up. I stamped this panel just to give a little bit of interest rather than anything plain. And then a sentiment. So it's a really easy card, something a little bit different. So I have just used the garden impression. I don't know what it's called. What's that DSP called? I am really terrible with names. I just go, yep, okay, that's pretty, I'm going to use it. I was right, Garden Impressions DSP. It's 6 by 6 inch DSP stack. Really, really pretty. So this simply gets glued onto this panel. And the cardstock I'm using is Powder Pink, which is an in colour that is finishing next year, I believe. It's a 2017-2019 in colour. Okay. Then we just need to stamp on our panel, our frame, I guess you call it, here. Thank you for sharing, Debbie. Thank you for sharing, Sherry. Now I've used the matching Abstract Impressions stamp set that goes with the Garden Impressions DSP, sort of all coordinates together. I love how Stampin' Up! Do that. This tag, I guess you call it, is the stitched frame from the that's really hard to say, Stitched Seasons Framelits dies. Right, these ones are only available to the end of September, so if you want to get them, grab them now before they are, end of August. What month are we in? We're in August. Grab them now before they are no longer available. Item 149013. Alright, so for the tag, I just have this abstract flower. It's a 3-step stamp. And if I didn't have such limited desk space because I'm a mess and I have stuff everywhere, then I'd use the stamper artist to get it lined up properly. But looking at these flowers, which are designed around that stamp set, they're pretty messy and they don't line up and they're meant to look abstracted. So I'm not going to worry about perfect placement for them. I'm just going to stamp them. The first 2 layers are done in Melon Mambo. The first one is stamped off so that it's paler. And then the last layer, top layer, I've done in Cherry Cobbler. So let's just do this stamping. Alright, so the first one is in Melon Mambo, and I stamp off. Now, so I get a... Oh, that didn't stamp very well. Wait. Alright, a trick for your photopolymer stamps, if they don't stamp very nice, get your Stampin' Pierce Spout underneath, and that will help cushion them, and you'll get a better image. Now, with that stamp, the issue could have also been my ink pad looks like it needs re-inking, but I'm not going to re-ink it. I want to get a new one. So I'm going to get the new style and not re-ink it. Alright, now, so I get a roughly lined up stamp and it doesn't look really weird and wonky. Then this, I don't know if you can see this cutout section here on the stamp. I'm going to have that in the same position, mostly in the same position when I'm stamping, okay, so that I get a reasonably lined up stamp. I'm just going to stamp off once. Doesn't matter if it's pale and motley because it is going to be covered with other layers. This is just going to give us a base pale layer. And yes, that does need re-inking. Well, I guess I'm going to be ordering a new one of those I mean, I can re-ink this, but hey, I want the new style ink pads. So what better excuse to buy one than it needs re-inking, so I have to get a new one. And I'll put that away and I need it. Too much gibber-gabbering. Right, so the next layer. And again, I'm going to look for that gap and have that sort of up in this direction. This time I'm stamping full strength. And I'm sort of trying to line it up without getting my head in the way. So forgive me if it's not lined up properly. Something like that. Okay, so we finished with the Melon Mambo now. I can put it away. And then the next layer is the Cherry Cobbler. And again, this is looking pretty funky around the edges, so I might have to get a new one of them too. What a shame. And then same thing, the gap that I was using for the other two is sort of there. So if I angle my stamp like this, then I've got half a chance of getting it lined up reasonably, sort of, maybe, fingers crossed. Don't worry about the ink you're getting on your Stampin' Pierce mat because it will wipe off. Okay, so there's our tag. Now I'm just going to wipe that off, that ink, because I don't want it getting on the back of anything else that I make. Just get a baby wipe. Aldi ones. I think they're $2 a pack. I haven't bought them for so long. They last forever. Excellent baby wipes for this. Just wipe it with a baby wipe and the ink will come off. Because it doesn't actually dry. I've never found that it dries on here. So I've stamped and then days later gone to use it again and gone, oh, what's this on the back of my project? Oh, that must be that ink off the Stampin' Pierce mat. Alright, done. Okay. Now we need the sentiment. I forgot to get my soft suede ink out, so 1 second. And I didn't get the sentiment out either. Yay, yay, yay. Looking funky around the edge. Yes, that's right. That's a good excuse to get a new ink pad. I can justify anything, Wurge. If I need or want to buy something, I'll come up with any sort of reason to get it, I tell you. So there's so much to love about you. That's the sentiment I've used. Go off camera, yell at me. I won't hear you, but if you type in caps, that's the same thing. Alright. So we're just going to soft suede our sentiment in the middle. That I didn't ink up properly. Must be something wrong with this ink pad. I have to get another new one. Oh dear. Till hubby sees the credit card and goes, what's on this? Oh, essentials, love. Essentials. There we go. Our sentiment. Right. Our tag is done. Now, if I was to put that straight on my panel here, it gets lost. These flowers get lost a little bit. So I created a backing to it using the same framelit, but I've just put some on the back, a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. And all you do is cut another one, cut it in half, except I had a skinny bit of paper, cardstock left over from something, so I just ran this through twice and got 2 ends. And all you're going to do is line it up so that you have just a little bit showing at the top, and it just lets it stand up a little bit from that pattern and doesn't get so lost. What I like to do as well is to trim it, but I've lost my scissors. 1 second, where are they? They're hiding. Here we go. So I don't have excessive bulk behind my tag, I like to give it a bit of a trim. Just with scissors, don't have to be perfect. Right, now going to put the glue on the back of my stamped tag. And then you don't need a lot of glue. You didn't see I didn't put a lot on there. Then you just line it up so that it is even on both sides. That looks pretty good. Hold it. So thank you all for coming and watching me today. Hope you're all having a good day so far and you actually got some crafting done on the weekend. Didn't ask yesterday if anyone did any crafting. I have a craft sharing group on Facebook too. If any of you would like to join that, then please do. But I ask that when you get in there, don't be shy and share what you're making. I've got a lot of people in the group, but no one likes to share. They're all too shy. So I need some people in there who are willing to share their work because I love seeing what people make. I mean, you're buying all these supplies, so you have to be using them. Well, I hope you're using them. And it's a non-judgmental group. So, Angie, I'll add you, darling. Yes. Yeah, share what you're making. The only thing I ask is that if fellow demonstrators join, they don't share links to their blogs or anything like that. It's purely just a craft sharing group. I don't share links to my blogs. All my images, though, are watermarked because I need to for copyright laws for Stampin' Up. But, and part of my watermark has my blog address. So you can do that. Put your blog address in your watermark, but no actively sharing links or saying, go to my blog to see more, all that sort of stuff. I will not allow that. But yeah, please share. And the only requirement is that something on your item that you make has to be Stampin' Up. So, you know, it doesn't have to all be 100% Stampin' Up. Something has to be though. So share away. Oh, thank you, Angie. Alright, so that's that panel. Done. Inside here, it's purely just the sentiment and more of these flowers. And what I'll need is a bit of paper for down this side. So nothing better than a delivery docket from an order that happened to land on my doorstep this morning. Yes, I ordered more. There's 3 deliveries this week so far. No, hang on. What's today? Tuesday. No, I must have got one Friday, one yesterday, and one today. Talk about obsessed. That's me. But hey, keeps me busy. Keeps me from killing people. No. Keeps other people in the community safe because I'm not out annoying them. Right. Look what I did. Okay. I didn't have this underneath. And my stamp was a bit not, I was going to say a rude word, but it wasn't very good. So let's try that one again. No, it's just not going to happen. I really need a new Mellow Mambo ink pad, hey. Because this one's just not cutting it. What a shame. I didn't stamp that one off, did I? Doesn't look like it. Yes, word. I think we can all relate to that. Keeps us all sane and from hurting other people. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it because it's worked for the last 6 years. So why change it now? That's enough of that one, I think. Right, so move on to the next layer. So there's nothing new in what, in what I'm doing now. I'm purely just finishing this card. So if you have any questions about the embossing mats or anything that I'm using today, don't be scared to ask. Oh, this definitely needs a re-ink. I don't think it's going to last till I get a new one. I'm going to have to re-ink it. Oh no, what a shame. Anyway. Yes, if you've got any questions, pop them below. Yes, you use crafting as therapy, Angie. Don't we all? Don't we all do? But I think many a time, what would I do with my day if I didn't spend it crafting? Gardening, cooking. I don't know. I don't need to cook any cakes or anything. Like, geez. Not when you're trying to lose weight. So imagine how big I'd be if I did that. Oh my lord. But I don't know what else I'd do. I'd probably sit in front of the TV and do nothing. That's boring. I'd rather be keeping my mind active and doing something. So, and I just love sharing what I make with people. So that's hence why I'm on Facebook so often. Alright, so now it's just the cherry cobbler. And I don't even know if I've got this lined up. Oops, no, I have my stamp the wrong way around. Gardening, yes, I know. Actually got a funny story. We have a butterfly, big black butterfly, has decided to make its home in one of our hanging plants out the back, near the deck. And it's quite a large butterfly. And my daughter has this fear of butterflies, so she no longer wants to go out in the backyard because of this butterfly. Anyway, the other day I went, it's because it's near a veggie patch as well, so I thought, I've got to go water the veggies. So I'm happily watering the veggies. Then I thought, oh, I will water these hanging baskets while I'm there. Well, I got to the third hanging basket where this butterfly hangs out and totally forgot he was there. And he comes, as soon as the water touched that pot plant, he comes flying out at me. I screamed and I went, oh my God, you stupid butterfly. And the whole time I was there watering that plant. And then when I finished, I went back to the veggie patch. He was just fluttering around, kept dive bombing me. Like, how dare you wet my home? You disturbed me from my sleep. It's like, man, now I hate butterflies too. See, gardening's dangerous. I can't get attacked by things in nature if I'm in my craft room. You are not allowed to do housework because your leg is not healed. So even when, oh, okay, that's fair enough. What a good excuse to do crafting. Margaret, your daughter's a pastry chef. Oh, wow. Gardening and cooking are just different crafts. True, very true. Aggressive butterfly. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, this butterfly. I'm going to have to try and rehome it because seriously, it's still in my head in. Right, the last thing we do is our sentiment in the middle. If flowers were hugs, I'll send you 1,000. I've got to find that one now. That's this one. Lovely sentiments in this stamp set, and I love the font. Really, really nice. The other one is so happy about your happy news. So that you could use that for anything really, couldn't you? Babies cards even, people engaged, all sorts of things. Now I did this in soft suede as well. And my crooked eye is cutting in there because I think that one, this one, is not very straight. Is that straight? Not sure. Yes, he could have eggs in that basket, word, you're right. So I'll just have to not water those plants until it buggers off. Aggressive little thing it is. Actually, it's not little, it's quite big. Alright, so here's my sentiment. This is the last step. Just got to make sure that my card is lined up with my grid paper. This grid paper is amazing. If you don't have it, you need to get it. And you should never get anything crooked again, except for me because I have a crooked eye. Alright, fingers crossed this is going to be straight. Look straight to me. I love photopolymer. See straight through them what you're doing. Look at that. There we go. Hello, Letitia. Thank you for joining. I'm just about finished. Oh, you've missed me. You'll have to watch the replay, honey. Alright, that's our card done. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry. I've put less flowers on this card this time. So I love how you can mix it up. So this is our little trifold card. Oh, I forgot the thank you on the front. Oh no. And the pearls. I don't even have any Whisper White out. Oh, geez. Here we go. Right, bear with me. I have to get some Whisper White. Talk amongst yourselves. See, I wasn't very switched on today. I was a bit disorganized because I woke up early to upload some YouTube videos for an online class. And they're taking forever. Alright, so that sentiment is roughly 3.5 inches long. And we're just going to trim it a little bit because it's a bit wide. So yes, I woke up early to get these YouTube videos uploaded because I was doing some last night and everyone's complaining that Mum's hogging the internet and I can't do anything. So I went, oh, fine, I'll stop. I'll do the rest this morning. I had 3 to upload today. I've managed to get 1 done. which took like an hour and a half or more. Stupid YouTube. I don't know. Just takes forever sometimes. Anyway, so then the family started waking up. Mum's uploading again. I can't do anything. Oh, jeez. So my day didn't start out so well. And I thought I was organised for this, but I'm not, as it turns out. But anyway, right, so I'm just going to do the greeting, and I nearly did it in the wrong colour. On my original card, I did it in Melon Mambo. Sorry about the noise. Thank you, Sherry. I'm glad you like the cards. Thank you, Margaret. NBN. Yeah, I have NBN too, Word, but it's still not the fastest beast. So I don't know why. We've had NBN since we moved in. But, yeah, I don't know. It's only on standard though. I thought we paid to have it upgraded. But obviously not. Alright, so then on the end of my thank you tag, I'm just going to do a partial flower that I didn't stamp off. Silly, silly, silly. So let's change this. And I obviously did the same on this tag, because if you have a look at this tag, I've only got 2 colours on there. I didn't stamp off. Right, so I'm going to do the second layer, which I normally do, have been doing Melon Mambo. I'm going to do that cherry cobbler. And then we'll just have the 2 layers on that. That looks okay, hey? That'll work. Just going to cut an angle in this just for something different. Wrong card, that's already got one. Let's put it on this one, hey? Right, just going to glue that on there. My thank you's a bit crooked. Now I've rolled my glue pot. It's all happening today. That's just stuck straight down. Although that one I'll put on dimensionals. But it doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter, they're not the same. Okay. Thank you. I'm just going to put some pearls on. But I have to use our new tool that's coming out. Wait 1 second. Right, I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool. Coming out in the holiday catalogue. It's really, really cool. And if you place an order with me of $100 or more from now until the end of September, you'll get one of these for free. Feeling really generous. Right, if you haven't seen it, this end has got your putty in it for picking up things like your rhinestones. No, rhinestones. Sequins, putting on projects and little bits and pieces. Really, really cool. You just twist the top to get a little bit more putty out when this one loses its stick. Comes with a spare putty tip. The other end is interchangeable and it locks. So you just take the lid off, twist it to unlock it. This is like a paper piercing tool. And then the other one is like a little spatula. I guess like a little egg flipper. And this is really flexible. So it's perfect for doing things like this. Lifting these little suckers off the sheets. Oops, it stuck to my finger. Oops, stick there. Really, really good for picking up your pearls and your rhinestones. Stay on there. Get on there. It doesn't want to play today. So yeah, this is really a worthwhile tool to get. And it comes with a little stylus end as well, which interchanges into here. So you've got your big ball stylus and a little ball stylus. Really cool for scoring and probably good for doing things like, what's it called? Forming your flowers, like putting depth into flowers and stuff like that. It poops all over that other one that's yes, Word. It is really, oh, really good. Come back, little pearl. Come back. All right, how many have we got in there? 4. I need another one because you always put your embellishments on in odd numbers. And I don't like how I've got a line down there of pearls, but that doesn't matter. So there we go. This is a really cool tool. So yes, if you want one and you don't want to wait, well, you will have to wait till early September. But if you want one for free, place a $100 order and I'm going to give you one. Here you go. There's the cards. So today's little exercise was the embossing mats and how you can get a different look depending on whether you use the blue mat or the grey mat. So I hope you've enjoyed that little card. And thank you all for watching. I love having people watch me as my madness when I craft. And I hope you all have a fantastic day and that you get crafty really soon. Oh, my special of the week, I forgot to show you. The embossing mats. If you purchase any of our bundles in the catalogue, so they are the predetermined bundles by Stampin' Up. So it's a combination bundle of the a stamp and the framelits or a stamp and the punch. Then you'll get the embossing mats for half price. So really good special. I love spoiling my customers. So if you're interested in taking up that offer, you place your order and then when I see it come through, I work out what you qualify for and then I send you those freebies separately in the mail. So thank you for watching and I hope you all have a lovely day and I'll hopefully catch you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now.